Very bad for them.
All right, viewers, let's move on to our next big breaking news that we are getting right at this moment. It's another case of water contamination. Nearly 20 houses in Bengaluru's Lingarajapuram have accused the board after serious allegations of sewage contamination in drinking water triggered panic and outrage among the residents. The contamination scare reported from KSFC layout under the North City Corporation limits has forced 30 to 40 households to abandon piped water and depend on private sources for over a week, raising alarming public health concerns. Now, residents say family members have been falling ill. They have been falling ill repeatedly. Over the past few months. Now, with some even requiring hospitalization for suspected waterborne infections. Now, following mounting complaints, the Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board has stepped in immediately, cutting off water supply to the affected pockets to prevent further risk. Acting on an emergency footing, BWSSB has launched an intensive probe using advanced robotic technology to pinpoint the exact source of contamination without indiscriminate digging. Chairman Dr. Ram Prasad Manohar says every technological and human resource is being deployed to resolve the crisis swiftly to ensure residents are not left stranded. Sanchari Kaveri mobile tankers have been pressed into service, supplying free and safe drinking water to all affected households. The board has set a strict deadline that clean water supply must be restored by tomorrow evening. So the many cases of water contamination in different parts of the country. Now this case is from Bengaluru. In Bengaluru's Lingarajapuram, now people, nearly 20 houses have accused the board after serious allegations of sewage contamination in the drinking water that has triggered a panic and outrage among the residents of that region. The contamination scare reported by KSFC layout under the North City Corporation limits has forced 30 to 40 households to abandon piped water and depend entirely on private sources for over 1 week. Now, this raises public health concerns. Raising alarming public health concerns. Residents are saying that family members have been falling ill repeatedly. As you can very well see from the visuals, the dirty water that is being displayed by the resident of that region. Now, some even required hospitalization after drinking this contaminated water or using this contaminated water. Following mounting complaints, now the Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board has stepped in, immediately cutting off water supply to the affected pockets to prevent any further risk, because there has been many episodes. There was one incident, as you remember, from Indore, the other incident from Gandhinagar, Gujarat, water contamination case, and now this is Bengaluru water contamination case, and this again is a negligence from the, not exactly the criminal, I'll say it's criminal negligence from the side of the authorities when they don't pay heed to the complaints of the residents and they don't act swiftly, and people are left without clean drinking water for weeks. Now, this case is from Bengaluru, where 20 houses in Bengaluru's Lingarajapuram have accused the board after serious allegations of sewage contamination in their drinking water. Now, following mounting complaints, the board has now stepped in, immediately cutting off water supply to the affected pockets to prevent any further risk of contamination. Now, acting on an emergency footing, BWSSB has launched an intensive probe using advanced technology, that is advanced robotic technology, to pinpoint the exact source of contamination without indiscriminate digging. Now, Chairman Dr. Ram Prasad Manohar says every technological and human resource is being deployed to resolve the crisis swiftly. Now, even to ensure residents are not left stranded, Sanchari Kaveri mobile tankers have been pressed into service. All right, so this is another case where people required hospitalization due to dirty drinking water. This is because of the dirty drinking water that they were forced to drink because of the contamination. Now let's listen into the reactions that are coming at this moment.
Really worried about the quality of water which is being supplied, and now the pipe is contaminated. Even if it is clean, we are still very scared of consuming this water because of seeing this kind of sanitary water coming into the drinking water pipe. we have a kid, and we are still in shock to see this kind of water being supplied. Hi, it calls for some immediate action. The residents of third beam Indore are seriously affected by this quality of water that's being provided here. So we are all forced to empty our tanks, get it clean and all of that. And it also goes to show that all the sanitary pipes that are being laid here is over 40 years old, and we have spent almost 2,000 per household to get the sump and the tanks clean. Many houses have been gone through this ordeal. So we request the BWSSB and the concerned authorities to ensure that it is cleaned up at the earliest possible. I also would want to let the people know that this has affected my mother. She has got terrible diarrhea because of the water, and most of the residents around have also reported the same. They have been affected by the drinking water, and this medical concern also has been a big issue now. We have all felt that food poisoning, and this has to be rectified as soon as possible.
Of water contamination, we are showing three visuals of three places. One is from Indore, the other is from Gujarat, and the last one is from Bengaluru, where nearly 20 houses in Bengaluru's Bhagirathpura have accused the water supply board after serious allegations of sewage contamination, as you can see from the visuals of the dirty drinking water in the bottle.
As you can see this bottle, this is the water collected from our sump. The Kaveri water which was given to us is this, and this is the clear water. You can see the clear difference, and not just the sump water. When the tap we opened, the clear supply was of this color. It went on for 20 to 25 minutes. After that, little clear water started coming. So you can see the difference here. It's not muddy water, it's clear sewage water.
All right, we are being joined by Abhishek for more details on this story. Abhishek, another case of criminal negligence, I would say, when you have water being contaminated and people complaining, the citizens complaining, and no response from the authorities. Now, what are the developments in this case? Have they acted swiftly now, post the complaints or post the media coverage?
To the issue that is happening in KSFC layout over the last couple of months, people thought initially it was a seasonal issue what they are facing, but after some time they got to know that it was because of the sewage water which had been mixed with the drinking water. People have started facing various other health concerns, including diarrhea and severe abdominal infections, and after which the residents of the layout have very clearly mentioned that over the last 30 to 40 days, a couple of families have already gotten their families admitted to the private hospitals to make sure that their health is getting back towards fine, after which they also decided that they will have to be on a tip on toe with the BWSSB, who usually takes care of the drinking water and the sewerage concerns of the city. Dr. Ram Prasad Manor, who is the chairman of BWSSB, directed that immediate action be taken against the leakage or the mixing of sewage water with the drinking water, after which the officials acted upon, and they have mentioned that the sewage water is being mixed with the drinking water, and they are unable to identify the actual spot where the mixing is happening. However, the commissioner of the chairman of BWSSB has also directed that immediate action to be taken by using the robotic technology to identify the actual place of mixing of the sewage and the drinking water. But at this point of time, people have stopped using the BWSSB water and have relied upon private supply of the drinking water, because it is very sure even if the BWSSB supplies a clear or neat water through their pipelines, the pipe has been contaminated, the sumps have been contaminated, the tanks have been contaminated, and they are also in the process of clearing up the mixing of water and the contaminated tanks as of now. On the other hand, we've also been informed that the contamination has gone to an extent that is unable to retract, or the people are unable to revive because of the level of contamination. And also we have heard lots of people very clearly mentioning that the water has started foul smelling, and also the scaling of the bacteria or the infection or the dust from the contaminated water has already silted upon in the tanks and the sump. So we will have to see how the BWSSB responds to this on a quick note, because this is one of such incidents where you already mentioned the incident that happened in Indore, the incident that happened happened in Gujarat. So this might have been another incident if at all the BWSSB hadn't acted upon or the civilians of the KSFC layout hadn't complained about. But we will have to see if this is going to be on a war foot or the BWSSB is going to take a months-long time to make sure that the people get the decent water for their livelihood. Back to you.
Abhishek, that is the case. Abhishek, one more question regarding this. The exact reason in Indore was the leakage of the pipe. Was it exactly the same here? And also, have a lab test been done? Have the results come from the lab test? What kind of bacteria and contamination was there?
Well, with respect to the information that has been gathered from the KSFC layout residents, they have collected the sample of the water and they had given it to one of the private labs. And this is as per their information that the water is mixed severely with the sewerage water, and people who were admitted to the hospital or hospitalized due to various other ill health has been mentioned that their ill health was due to the water infection or the consumption of the water infection. And also it is mentioned from the test that various other microbials which are found in the sewerage water is actually found in the drinking water of the KSFC layout. So the BWSSB will have to conduct another test to clearly mention if the sewerage water is mixed with the drinking water to know the level of mixing of the sewerage water. On the other hand, we've also been told that the BWSSB doesn't know the exact point where the mixing of the sewage water and the drinking water is happening, but they are sure that there is a contamination of water in one of their pipelines. So this will have to be sorted out as soon as possible is what Ramprasad Manohar, the chairman of BWSSB, has directed his officials.
All right, Abhishek, thanks for the details.